Interleague play continues on the north side, featuring two sluggers swinging hot bats in the sweltering Chicago heat. Couple of veteran outfielders who got off to slow starts heating up lately. Alfonso Soriano and Josh Hamilton. The Cubs will wrap up interleague play for 2013 by hosting the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. It's the first of a quick two-game series. Great to be back here on the north side after the Cubs beat the White Sox last night on the south side. Jim DeShays, Len Casper with you. Let's focus in on Soriano and Hamilton. For Alfonso, he's now homered 6 times in his last 10 games.
And not surprisingly, the Cubs are playing winning baseball, 8-4 over their last 12. He was clearly the man of the match on the south side last night. Took his fastball into the left field corner for a double. Don't pay attention to him. He'll steal a bag on you. That's what happened as he swiped third base. The power bat has been there a lot in the last couple of weeks. Got a little bit of a hanging breaking ball from Santiago, no doubter, into the seats. And then the steal of second base later on the ball game. Alfonso Soriano at 37, playing like he's 27. There are the numbers. Last 10 games for Alfonso, 381. And Josh Hamilton's been around hot too. 12-game hitting streak, during which the Halos are 10-2. When he's on a roll, man, he's Mickey Mantle.
Yeah, over the last month, the Angels scoring over 5 runs per game, leading the major leagues, and they have won 10 of their last 12. But they're going to run into a left-hander named Travis Wood tonight. The Cubs All-Star will have 2 more starts here in the first half. He looks for his first win in a while, even though he has been pitching very well. Angels and Cubs are next.
Your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. BMO Harris Bank, helping money make sense. BMO Harris Bank, NA member FDIC. AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
It is hot here at Wrigley Field tonight. The wind blowing straight out. The Cubs hosting the Angels in the first of a 2-game interleague set. And then the Cardinals come in for the weekend to wrap up the first half. We want to welcome those watching around the world on the Armed Forces Network. All the men and women serving our great nation. And Hospital Corpsman David Goen, senior enlisted leader. And during his 21 years of military service, he served many years at sea, participating in Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom, as well as numerous exercises and humanitarian missions ashore. Great to have him here at Wrigley Field. Cubs take the field behind all-star left-hander Travis Wood. And let's look in on Mike Scioscia's Angels Southwest starting lineup. Eric Ibar, switch hitting shortstop, will lead it off. Mike Trout in center, an all-star again this year, and he'll be in the starting lineup. Albert Pujols at first. Howie Kendrick will be the cleanup man for just the second time this year. Hamilton off to that slow start, but hot lately. Mark Trumbo, don't forget about him. He's in right. Another switch hitter, Alberto Callaspo, is at third. Chris Iannetta, very patient guy. He catches for Joe Blanton.
Cubs defensively, an outfield of Soriano, Borabone, and Shearholtz. Third to first, Valbuena, Castro, Barney, Rizzo. Leonardo Navarro behind the plate tonight. Wellington Castillo under the weather, was scratched last night, still scuffling a little bit. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Travis Wood, and the motto, please boys, get me some runs. That's been a big issue for him. Still below 500, 5-6. He has not won in 6 starts, 4 losses, 2 no decisions. In those 6 games, the Cubs have scored a grand total of 10 runs.
There's Joe West. 35 years at the major league level going into this season, so he has the most tenure among all active umpires, tied for third all time. Bill Clem and Bruce Fremming worked 37 years. Sam Holbrook, Andy Fletcher, and Mike Winters will handle the bases.
Difference being is that Bill Clement and Bruce Fremming missed a couple of calls in their careers. Joe, so far, he's perfect. He hasn't missed yet.
Here is Eric Ibar, the switch hitting shortstop, who won a Gold Glove a couple of years ago. Now, is that according to you or Joe?
That's according to me.
Here we go. Wood facing the Angels for the first time. And ball 1 to Ibar. The Angels have scored the 9th most runs in the majors, but their last 28 games, going back basically a month, they're averaging 5 1/4 runs per game, leading the majors since June 8th. Popped him up. Not much room over there. Valbuena can't make the play. Right up along that ledge, and neither could the fan in the front row. So it'll be a foul strike on Ibar. The Angels here for only the 2nd time ever, and they're the final current major league franchise to play their first night game at Wrigley Field.
Brief 2-game set tonight, tomorrow night before the Cardinals come to town for 4. Should be a good finish here to the first half with these games at Wrigley before the break. These clubs playing good baseball right now. Cubs have won 4 of their last 5 series. Angels have won 10 of 12.
Another foul.
When you look at the numbers, it's difficult to support him being the leadoff hitter in this lineup. Doesn't walk much, doesn't steal bases. Has an on-base percentage of .307. Switch hitter hitting .257 from this side.
Wind and the 1-2. He got him on a swing and a miss for strike 3.
A good start for Travis Wood. Elevated fastball, swing and a miss from Ibar. Wood relies heavily on that cut fastball to both sides of the plate. Go ahead.
Pardon me, partner. was going to mention Mike Trout's Wrigley Field debut.
Yeah, I mentioned in the open Josh Hamilton, when he gets on a roll, is like Mickey Mantle. That's what this kid is too. Unbelievably gifted player.
Still 21. He'll turn 22 in about a month.
Good change.
0-2.
Cubs play him deep in the outfield, pretty much straight up. Rizzo well off the line at first.
Nick DiGiovanni covers the Angels for the LA Times. The piece today talking to Trout about the advice he was given about playing here at Wrigley Field. Quote, don't run into the wall full speed. That's good advice. .50 homers, 50 steals, and 266 career games, the fastest to those markers of any player in American League history. And in the open, we showed Soriano's night last night. Alfonso with a homer, 2 stolen bases. Since the beginning of last year, Mike Trout's had 11 games with at least 1 homer and 1 steal. So at least for a night, Alfonso can say he was Mike Trout.
You know, guys have a 20-20 year, and that's pretty good. Well, he's almost had a 20-20 first half. Stolen 20 bags. He's hit 15 home runs. Soriano, a few years back, 40-40. Trout on a pace to do that. Just about.
On the outside corner on a 3-2 pitch. Trout had a couple of words for Joe West, but Joe said, JD just told you I had never made a mistake.
He didn't miss this one. This is a backdoor cutter. It's sitting right on the outside corner, just above the knees. Perfect pitch.
A cool welcome back to Wrigley Field for Albert Pujols, the former Cardinal. 26 career homers in 86 games in this ballpark. He hit a game-winning 2-run homer off Carlos Villanueva in Anaheim back on June 4th. The Cubs and Angels split that 2-game series.
He's lowered his hands maybe just a little bit. Battling plantar fasciitis and knee surgery in the offseason.
Yeah, the foot problems have been chronic for quite a while. 2-1. Gives himself as much time as possible. Wood with a 2-1. That one lined to center. Off the glove of Bourbon. Pujols will make the turn. He's going to try to get to second. They got a shot at him. He's going to be out by a mile. Not quite sure why he tried to test Nate Sherholtz's arm, but that will end the inning.
Because he runs like he's invisible. Like Tony La Russa used to say.
The Cubs are coming up. Bourbon didn't catch his ball. It was a laser. Glanced off Bourbon's glove. They're going to give Pujols a single. And he was out by a wide margin as Sherholtz nailed him.
It's a matter of Castro waiting for Pujols to slide into the tag. You see the legs bothering him, so didn't run hard out of the box. Well, maybe that's why he decided to try to go for second. He was feeling guilty about not breaking hard out of the box. But one mistake compounds another, and Wood faces the minimum in the first.
Mr. Percentage guy, where do you put Albert? He looks like he's running at about, what, 70%?
It didn't look pretty. Look at this.
Blanton will make a nice catch. Bourbon almost bunted it over him. If he had, he would have been able to beat it out. Let's get the rest of the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Starlin, Castro led off last night back in the 2-hole. Rizzo third, Soriano red hot, Valbuena's at third, Navarro's going to catch again. Nate Sherholtz in right. You see his numbers against Joe Blanton. Darwin Barney at second, and Travis Wood the pitcher.
How about the Angels defensively? It's Trout in center. He's got Hamilton on one side, Trumbo on the other. Callaspo, Ibar, Kendrick, Pujols third to first, Iannetta behind the dish. Veteran Joe Blanton, our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher for the Angels. Not been close to perfect yet this year. Better lately though. 2.10 ERA above 5. Solid veteran right-hander for a number of years.
He's got a good strikeouts to walks ratio of 4.63. He's given up a high batting average on balls in play. He's allowed 18 home runs, and it's led to a 5+ earned run average, and he has 10 losses, tied for the most in the AL. 1-2 to Castro, a bouncer to third where Callaspo will throw to Pujols. 2 outs.
And not a hard thrower, Blanton used to be, but now his average fastball velocity right around 89. He'll cut it, throw a slider and a curve. He's got a real good changeup. Maybe his best pitch.
So down to 239 after an 0 for 5 on the south side last night. Cubs didn't need his production though. They scored 8 times on 13 hits as they swept the season series.
Made a lot of noise late against the Sox bullpen.
A brief shower late in the afternoon did not impede batting practice. Park was on the field for maybe a half hour or so. The 9th matchup between these two teams since 2004. Cubs are 4-4 against the Angels. 2-2.
Throw that change up and fastball counts. Elevated heater there.
Blanton's been with the A's, the Phillies, the Dodgers, and now the Angels. And that ball's hit to deep right. And it will go. On a 2-2 pitch, Rizzo takes it out for his 13th.
Well, that's a positive development. See the big guy go deep. The 19th home run allowed by Joe Blanton. He's near the top of the leaderboard. He probably doesn't think of it that way. In the American League, our Ford home run replay, 2-seam fastball running back to the inside corner. Rizzo clears the hips, drops the head, and knocks it in the seats.
A little more handsy that time. Dale, before the game, said hitting a little bit too much with his body. Wants him to use those hands a little bit more, and it worked out well. First homer since June 23rd.
to see he hasn't forgotten the ritual.
Soriano with a towering fly ball. And they've gone back to back. Man, is he hot. That's his 7th homer in his last 11 games.
You talked about Blanton's control and the fact that he doesn't walk many. Sometimes when you have below average stuff, you got to be careful how much time you spend in the strike zone, especially with a guy like Soriano, who's red hot right now, and he's hitting everything over the plate. Fastballs, breaking balls. If you throw it in the zone, there's a good chance he's going to put a good swing on it. And Ford goes back to back with Rizzo and Soriano. That's gone. That's gone.
Back to back, says
back.
Rizzo. Strike on Luis Valbuena. The game-winning 2-run double in the 8th. 2 go-ahead RBIs on the night last night, 3 in all from the DH spot. So Soriano's home run, number 386. He's in sole possession of 58, ahead of Dwight Evans, and he's now 4 away from tying Hall of Famer Johnny Bench for 57th. On the ground to the shortstop, Ibar, to end the inning. Cubs get consecutive 2-out home runs. Line shot for Rizzo to right, his 13th. And then Soriano, a majestic fly that got out, his 14th, and it's 2-0 Cubs. Look at the new film Grown Ups 2 in theaters everywhere Friday. Second baseman Howie Kendrick, the guy you would normally think of in that cleanup spot in the lineup of guys like Pujols and Trumbo and Hamilton, but you see his numbers. He's had a very good first half. He's hitting between Pujols and Hamilton. And he hits a chopper to third. Valbuena will throw him out. So Travis Wood hasn't won since the end of May. He faces Josh Hamilton. Comes in with a 12-game hitting streak. But don't let that fool you. The 6 starts, 3 losses, 3 no decisions. They've all been quality outings for Wood.
Been shut out twice in that stretch. Also lost a 2-1 ball game. Two runs early for him. That's a luxury he has not enjoyed much last month plus.
Fouled away by Hamilton. Wood has the most quality starts in the majors, 16. See some all-stars there on that list. And the update on Wood, starting on Sunday, you know, the new collective bargaining agreement allows pitchers who throw on Sunday, 2 days before the All-Star game, if they so choose, to pitch an inning in the Midsummer Classic. And Dale Swain today indicated that he would be very open to it if Travis wanted to. And I have a feeling he will want to. It'd be his normal throw day.
Yeah, who wouldn't jump at the opportunity, especially a first-time All-Star.
The guy he'll face Sunday to finish up the first half will be his All-Star teammate Adam Wainwright. Randy Myers in 1995, the last Cub lefty to pitch in the All-Star game. Trumbo kind of off the end of the bat. Little humpback liner is going to be caught by Bourbon, and the inning comes to a quick end. Nice shutdown second for Wood after his team gave him a 2-0 lead.
Chicago, you really can, especially here at beautiful Wrigley Field. So gather your friends and family and make baseball part of your plans. Limited tickets are available for this Saturday. Otherwise, there's good availability throughout the rest of the homestand. To purchase your tickets, visit Cubs.com. Act quickly. Act with conviction.
Cubs leading 2-0. They'll try to add on. His switch hitting catcher Deanna Navarro will lead it off. Wellington Castillo was supposed to DH last night. He was scratched due to dehydration. Feeling a lot better today, but Dale's going to give him one more day. Navarro had a hit, a walk, and a run. The Cubs 8-2 victory. Blanton with the 1-0. That is in the dirt ball 2. He said first time in his life he ever remembered being dehydrated.
O'Hara with one of the best home run ratios in baseball. Blanton gives up a lot of them. I'm guessing he had the green light there, but that pitch wasn't close.
Leadoff walk. Mike Scioscia, as a player, played a lot of games here at Wrigley Field. Talked to him today on his memories. He said, you know, it was always a big deal when the Dodgers came here because of Tommy Lasorda, the Hall of Fame manager. Tons of media would crowd into that visiting clubhouse. Scioscia with 2 career homers in this park, and I noticed one of them was a game-tying 2-run homer off Lee Smith, 1985, in the 9th inning. And I asked him today, do you remember that home run? He said, yes, I do. How could you forget hitting a game-tying homer off Lee Smith in the prime of his career?
Yeah, Mike was more of a contact-type hitter. He didn't hit a lot of home runs. Good, tough AB, outstanding catcher. Nobody blocked the plate quite like Mike Scioscia. He was a brick wall.
He also remembered coming here in '84, and it's when everything changed here. That Cubs team was something special. There was a ball rocketed over the home dugout. Two strikes on Sherholtz. I also asked Scioscia, who's a part of the commissioner's blue ribbon panel, talk about different issues in the game, about September rosters and whether they should be capped, and he is all for it.
Did he imply that it was going to happen?
Well, we didn't talk about whether it'll happen or not, but his idea was on the last day of August, whatever your 25-man active roster is, that's set for September. So those 25 guys have to be on your daily active list. And the reason for that is it would include starting pitchers. And then you could maybe add up to 5 players on that daily active roster. You could have 40, you know, kind of a taxi squad, but then have 28 or 30
available
active
for any given day.
Yeah.
You could call up your whole 40-man roster if you wanted to. But on any given day, he would say, let's have 28 guys available.
And I like that idea. I still think managers should be able to manage and out strategize, and it's a lot harder to do in September. Nice running grab by Hamilton to retire Sherholtz.
Good break on this ball by Hamilton, a guy who's capable of playing center field. He and Trout out there, they have great coverage. Good swing by Sherholtz. Gets it up a little bit. Maybe it rides that wind and might have a long ball as well.
Peter Borges, speedy center fielders on the DL. No good news for Mike Scioscia, other than the silver lining in a National League park. He doesn't have to sort it out, figure out who's going to sit. There's a strike on Darwin Barney. But yeah, I have to believe at some point soon the September roster issue will be sorted out. Most important games theoretically of the season, you have different rules from the first 5 months. Doesn't seem to make a lot of sense.
Yeah, doesn't. That's how hot it is. Check out Joe Blanton's jersey. This will be about a 4 undershirt night, 3 jersey night probably for the starting pitchers.
So the benefit for a pitcher is you get loose fast, right, on a night like this. But the downside is you get tired fast too.
Got to conserve your energy.
Barney snapped an 0 for 22 with a ninth inning single last night.
Every pitch becomes important. If you're going to extend at bats, make a pitcher stay out there, work a little bit harder to get through these early innings, the likelihood that he goes deep in the game, not very good. Travis Wood's been very efficient so far. 2 very quick innings for him. He's had to work a little harder. 31 pitches.
He's from Kentucky, born in Bowling Green, went to the University of Kentucky, and later was a first-round pick of the A's in 2002. .6'2", 220. Lined to Hamilton. 2 down. Up Wood, who's already homered twice this year, has knocked in 7.
Joe Blanton dead even in his career. 85 wins, 85 losses, career ERA of 4.42. Some might argue, well, he's an average Joe, but he's well above average because most guys don't pitch in the big leagues as long as this guy has. Broke in 2004, brief cup of coffee with the A's. The next year he was a 12-game winner. He's a better than average Joe. Giving up 135 hits this year. That's the most in the American League.
Swing and a miss, and that will end the inning. Cubs with those first inning homers lead 2-zip after 2.
At the Sheraton Chicago Hotel and Towers from January 17th through the 19th. Rooms can be reserved by visiting CubsConvention.com or by calling the Sheraton and asking for the Cubs convention rate. All reservations come with convention passes built into the room package. So, 1-800-325-3535 is the magic number.
Send us your comments on tonight's game through Twitter using hashtag Cubs Talk. We will read our AT&T tweet a little bit later on. Now we want to mention the Cubs today hosted their Scholars Breakfast. The front office, including Tom and Laura Ricketts, Jed Hoyer, introduced Chicago Cubs Charity's first class of Cubs scholars, 5 high school seniors who will each receive $20,000 in collegiate scholarships from the Cubs, mentorship from the front office, and enrollment in a Cubs college prep program. So congrats to all the winners. So Claudia Zawolski, Virginia Garcia Rico, Nicholas Gocki, Golzar Shabiri, and Felix Velez. All well deserved. Alberto Callaspo takes ball 1. Fly ball pretty well hit as Bourbon turned all the way around, makes a catch. Talked to Julio about playing here at Wrigley Field. He said the biggest adjustment is just there's not a lot of room out there. And remember, he was used to playing in a lot of big parks in the American League West. Seattle and Oakland. Just saw those on the last road trip. Much different feel here.
So as you pursue balls in the alleys, you're more likely to have company from one of your corner outfielders. You just have to make sure you communicate.
Rocky Chris Iannetta takes ball 1. 46 walks on the year, ranking 7th in the American League. So he's got a .220 batting average, but a very healthy on-base percentage of almost .370.
He's kind of the anti-eyeball. He's got a good batting average, but a low on-base percentage because he doesn't walk.
So the question is, would Iannetta be an interesting leadoff option just because he gets on base a lot?
Yes, he would.
Ahead of guys who hit the ball out of the ballpark. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
You prefer to have a little speed in that leadoff role. You wouldn't want a base clogger. But at the end of the day, for me, I'd rather have a high on base guy at the top of the order.
Called strike 3. Third strikeout for Woods. Second looking. Grinds coffee pouches. Get the product the players use and visit getgrinds.com today. Former member of the National League, Joe Blanton. No extra base hits and a 105 career average. However, he homered in the World Series back in 08 with the Phillies.
Timing is everything.
First pitcher to hit a homer in the series since Ken Holtzman in 1974 with the A's. Breaks his bat. I hope it's not the only one he has. As Valbuena throws him out. I'm pretty sure it's not.
Might be the only one he needs.
2-0 Cubs.
zip. Here on the Cubs as they take on division rival St. Louis. Friday here at Wrigley Field. It's a 3:05 game. Come early if you're one of the first 10,000 adults 21 years of age and older. You'll receive a Cubs cowboy hat presented by Budweiser. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
4-game series starts Thursday night. Take us right into the All-Star break. Bone, the leadoff man, will start things here in the Cubs' third.
Popped up a bunt first time up, and Joe Blanton was able to corral it. Boy, if he dropped it over his head, he would have had a base hit. Angels have made a bunch of errors this year. Among the worst in baseball. There's the good changeup.
68 errors.
Tied with the Astros. Worst in baseball. Another good changeup.
1-2 the count. Here it is. It's low. Angels have had some injuries in their rotation. Jared Weaver missed some time. Currently Tommy Hanson, Jason Vargas are on the DL. Starter ERA 4.43, ranking 10th in the American League. We've already used 10 different starters as Kendrick throws out Bourbon. We'll see C.J. Wilson tomorrow night against Jeff Samardzija.
Samardzija 5-8, Wilson 8-6. Almost identical ERAs, a little above 3.5.
So essentially what the Angels had to do, I mean, they kept their top two guys, Weaver and Wilson, but they had to replace Greinke, Herron, and Santana. Going into the season, it was Vargas and Blanton and Hanson, but 2/3 of that trio right now injured, and Blanton is 2-10.
That's when you go into scramble mode.
Castro hits this ball deep. Right center, Trout's back, he looks up, it's gone. It's a home run for Castro on a 2-0 pitch. Three solo shots here in the first 3 innings for the Cubs.
Blanton trying to go away with a fastball, has it run back over the inside third of the plate. Castro gets the hands in and really puts a good swing on this one. He's had a problem catching up to good fastballs lately. Blanton not a power guy. Doesn't have that high octane fastball. Rizzo and Castro, two guys have really been struggling, have both gone deep.
Swinging bunt here will be a hit for Rizzo, so it's been a good night for him. A line shot homer, and now a single that went about 70 feet. First Cub hit that has not left the ballpark.
Cubs have homered in 10 consecutive home games, 19 of their last 21 here at Wrigley.
Time now for our Xfinity high-speed action. Rizzo and Soriano back-to-back in the first. Ground ball, backhanded by Ibar. Kendrick and the relay. They turn the double play. Good turn by the Angels middle of the infield, but a home run by Castro makes it 3-zip Cubs. Cool Ranch Doritos Locos Tacos from Taco Bell. Liv Moss. Good work by the Menards grounds crew here at Wrigley Field. Cubs playing pretty well here lately. They've won 3 in a row. 21-18 after an 18-30 start to the season. Second time through now for Travis Wood. First time around just 1 hit, but he faced the minimum. Now 2-1. Angels last road trip they went 6-0 at Detroit and Houston. This trip 2 here and then 3 in Seattle. Because why should they stay in the Midwest? It's too hot. Makes too much sense. Yeah, it is hot. Wood coming home on a 3-1, and Ibar was late on 87. 3-2.
Mike Scioscia's teams during his tenure as the manager of the Angels, and it's been a good long tenure. Earned a reputation of being kind of an aggressive team, play a little small ball, what out of the norm for the American League, steal a bunch of bases, use the sacrifice more frequently than many American League teams. This club more of a power team now.
Now Buena gets Ibar.
You add Pujols, you add Josh Hamilton, you bring up youngsters like Trumbo and Trout. Just stand toe to toe and slug with people.
Scioscia's in his 14th season, the longest tenured major league manager. The Angels all-time winningest manager. He's been the AL Skipper of the Year twice. Led them to their first World Series title in '02. Strike on Mike Trout. Nearing 1,200 wins.
Something to be said for continuity. You got the right guy in place. If you believe in him, you got to be able to ride out the ups and downs one year to the next.
I think he's now been with at least 3 general managers. Stoneman, Regans, and now Dipoto.
It sounds right.
Trout asks for time. Soch was a little worried that Mike Trout would be asked to be in the home run derby. He was not. Manager knows how arduous it is and a little nervous about his 21-year-old superstar participating. And Robinson Cano chose Yoenis Cespedes as his final pick.
David Wright's taking a lot of heat because he picked Michael Kadire.
Yeah, I guess they grew up together.
Yeah. It's kind of like gym class. Pick your buddy.
The Philly fans, right? They wanted Dominic Brown.
Dominic Brown, Justin Upton.
Do people really care? Really care about the home run derby?
I'm guessing. Well, remember last year Cano got into all kinds of trouble in Kansas City because he didn't pick Billy Butler.
Foul tip, strikeout. Trout hasn't put a ball in play yet. It's 2 at bats.
Got him looking last time. The backdoor cutter this time. Changeup. Flailing at it. And down goes Trout. Oh hum, another outstanding performance underway from Travis Wood. I heard an interview with Hunter Pence today, and he was arguing that the home run derby should be based on merit. Whoever has the most home runs in the first half of the year gets to be in the home run contest.
It actually makes a lot of sense.
Make it easy, wouldn't it?
Yep. 1-0 on Pujols. Here's a pitch. Hard hit ground ball. Castro back on his feet. Good stretch by Rizzo. Castro knew he had a little time with Pujols running, and he got him. Cubs lead 3-0 in the 4th. Redbirds right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Tune in as Edwin Jackson squares off with the Cards' Jake Westbrook. Don't miss Cubs and Cardinals Thursday night at 7 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Breaking ball strike on Luis Valbuena. 3-0 Cubs in the fourth, looking for their fourth straight win. Notes around baseball. Neil Walker is on the DL. He left the other day with soreness in his right side. He's going to be out through the break. Josh Harrison called up to replace him. This makes sense if you're going to have some sort of little nagging injury this week with the All-Star break. This is probably the time to shut somebody down for a couple of weeks. Valbuena on a hop to the shortstop high bar. High throw. Pujols comes down in time. Adam Eaton activated from the DL and in the leadoff spot for the Diamondbacks tonight. He was supposed to be their leadoff hitter, then suffered a left elbow injury.
Diamondbacks still atop the somewhat mediocre NL West. They're 5 games above 500, have a 3.5 game lead over the surging Dodgers. D-backs the only team in that division above 500 right now.
Navarro gets under one. Pedaling is Howie Kendrick for the out.
If fans visit the Captain Morgan Club here at Wrigley Field with more than 40 flat screens, great food, and Wrigley's largest outdoor patio, come celebrate a Cubs win and join us for the Captain Morgan Club post-game party featuring great music and Wrigley's friendliest staff. For more information, including specials and private party options, call that number, 773-404-4750.
2 quick outs, and it's Scherholtz retired on a nice play by Hamilton on a line out to left in the second. It's like Sean Markham may miss the rest of the season, being reported by ESPNNewYork.com. He's got some numbness and tingling in his right hand.
Scheduled for surgery.
I guess blocked artery, like thoracic outlet syndrome.
Yeah, same thing Chris Carpenter had. So if you had Sean Markham on your fantasy team, you need to make a move. That's the way his season was going, you've probably already done that.
I would think so. Blanton with a 3-1 changed him up 3-2. Perfectly executed changeup, fastball count. And Scherholtz was way ahead of it. And a base hit into center. That'll keep the inning alive for Barney.
Like Blanton doubled up with that changeup, and Scherholtz was wise to it. It was just good hitting there. Took a chance on 3-1, cheated a little bit, hoping to run into a fastball, was fooled by the changeup, but on 3-2, a little more patient approach, stayed in there a little longer, served that solid line drive single out to center field. About working the count and then having a strategy with each pitch.
Long pause. Now Blanton steps off. He's never lost to the Cubs. This is his 7th career start. 1-0 with a 2.93. Coming into tonight, his lowest ERA against any current National League team. Trailing 3-0 tonight on 3 home runs. Sherholtz runs. Barney bounces to third. Kayaspa will dig and toss and get him. 2-out single by Sherholtz, but he's stranded at first, and we'll head to the 5th. It's 3-0 Cubs. Brought to you by Nationwide Insurance Agent Jeff Vukovich. Visit jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. Patrick in the booth with us. Steamy Tuesday night here at Wrigley Field.
Here, let me hook you up here.
I appreciate that, JD.
Yeah, that's our air conditioning in the booth.
You'll get that
State
new
of the
press
art
box.
here, man. Yeah.
Once that new press box comes.
So Matt Garza last night just continues what he's been doing here his last 5 starts with a sub-1 ERA. Helps the Cubs win and continues to build his trade value.
Yeah, I think clearly he's shown that he's healthy and can be that kind of pitcher he was not that long ago, a guy who's been an ALCS MVP. I think his value keeps on soaring, and I know he was asked a lot about the contract extension stuff last night. I don't think there's too much there. I fully expect him to be wearing a new uniform in August, but clearly he's a ton of fun to watch, and you know those guys in the clubhouse, Dale, the coaching staff, they'd love to see him around for a long time. It's kind of out of their hands at this point, though.
0-1 on Howie Kendrick. Fly ball to right, over near the foul line. Sherholtz, and he has just enough room and foul ground to make the catch. Speaking of Travis Wood, and I alluded to this earlier, Patrick, sounds like Dale is very open to Wood pitching an inning on Tuesday, and I would guess Travis will want to, depending on what happens Sunday night.
Yeah, I think there was a little confusion. Maybe it was on our end or wherever it was, but there is in the new CBA a Sunday pitcher rule that clearly you can go for an inning, you can set a pitch count limit, and really they're not going to know until Sunday. Those wheels will kind of go in motion then. Just be tough for the one Cubs representative not to be there, but clearly it'd be a great experience for Travis.
Yeah, he could pinch run.
Someone asked about pinch hitting yesterday too. Grand slam.
The 0-1 to Hamilton. He bounces fair. Oh, it hit the line. A nice play by Rizzo. Good adjustment. And 2 away. So Albert Almora was here at the ballpark on a Kane County off day.
Yeah, not a nice little field trip. He said his parents were in the stands here, and they're up visiting from Florida for a couple weeks. He says he loves it out there. Obviously, he's feeling good after getting that hamate bone removed in spring training. And another guy who is supposed to be a building block here. And we kind of asked him about the Chris Bryant negotiations. He had a similar situation last year, so I think you'd see kind of a similar end result with Bryant signing here.
So the deadline is Friday?
Correct.
Signing deadline. But all reports seem to indicate that the Cubs are not a bit concerned that it will get done.
Yeah, and with Almora, that went almost down to the last minute too, and they had the same advisor, Scott Boras, and I think, you know, both of those guys, if you're an agent, you want your guys playing here.
Mark Trumbo out into deep left center. Caught by Bourbon. Nicely done by the Cubs center fielder. They got a mouthful of ivy there as he made the catch. Patrick Mooney, our Cubs insider. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys.
3-0 Cubs. Area opt in to Qdoba's mobile club by texting Q to 50500 to receive free chips and queso. Yeah, congrats to Chris Chelios. 26 years in the big league or in the NHL as Travis Wood with a single. So he's 1 out of 2.
26 years in the NHL.
I
wow.
saw Chris Chelios play his final ever game, and it was in Atlanta with the Thrashers. We were in Atlanta to start the season.
Started with the Canadians, didn't he?
Yep. And then 9 years here in Chicago.
Boy, it's tough to play that long in that league with all the banging that goes on.
Nice catch by Bourbon to end the top of this inning.
Defense has been solid tonight, hasn't it? His play, Rizzo's play with that funky hop, Castro in the hole on Pujols. Wood throws strikes, works quickly, keeps his guys engaged. Good things happen. And he's finally getting a little run support.
Line to foul. Great catch by a fan right near the Cubs bullpen.
guy who didn't make the play was more excited than the kid who did.
He'll get one, but not two.
Nope, maybe it was somebody else going down the line, but not Bourbon. Big high hop. Makes it a little bit of a longer play, and Bourbon going down the line. Very difficult to double him up. Iannetta, the Angels catcher, has been a below average thrower throughout his career, at least in terms of the numbers. Caught stealing percentage about 23% this year, really low. Just a little over 10% caught.
Bourbon got a great jump. He stole that one off the pitcher, Blanton.
Three-run lead, pressing for more. Blanton tried to hasten his delivery, a little quick step.
One and one. Castro homered his last time up. There's a pitch. Just missed the inside corner.
Blanton, is primarily fastball changeup guy. He throws a cutter and then he'll throw an occasional slider and curveball. Those pitches that are troublesome for Castro, he really doesn't feature that much. He's trying to just upset his timing with the fastballs in, the changeups away.
Cole Hamels has more losses among all major league pitchers. Hamels has 11. Blanton 2 and 10 and trailing here, and he walked Castro to put 2 on for Anthony Rizzo.
Got a big righty warming up. Michael Kahn down there in the bullpen for the Angels. Last time out, got a no decision. 6-5 win over the Cardinals. He gave up 5 runs, 4 earned, and 5 2/3. The 3 previous starts were all really good.
Swing and a miss. Blanton has now allowed 21 home runs, and he's walked 21 on the season. Swing and a miss on the changeup. Last year, he walked 34, gave up 29 home runs.
If he goes 3 straight with the changeup.
Yep. And it worked.
Sometimes out there in the mound, you can outthink yourself. Well, I've thrown a couple good changeups. Now I got to beat him with a fastball. I've slowed him down. Sometimes the hitter just doesn't see the ball well out of your hand, and that's what he's got. His changeup is his best pitch. Accused at times this year of falling in love, quote unquote, with his changeup, throwing it too much. But when you see the action he gets on it, you can see where he would want to pitch off of his changeup. Not just the off-speed nature of that pitch. He has real good movement with it too.
2 on, 2 down, and it's a red-hot Soriano taking a pitch low. AT&T U-verse Multiview. Bone and Castro the runners. And then it come on out to the mound.
He's backed into a little bit of a corner here, down 3 already. Has a red-hot hitter at the plate with a couple of men on base. Realizes the gravity of the situation. Wants to make sure he and Iannetta are on the same page. Chapter 1 up and in. Again, that's, he's somewhat limited here in his options against Soriano because he doesn't have that put away breaking ball that Soriano sometimes struggles with.
Kick the 2-0. It's outside. Valbuena on deck.
Red light, red light, red light, green light.
The green.
All right.
And 3-1.
A little out of the zone, but you got a red hot hitter. You want him swinging the bat there on 3-0.
They're now loaded. Second walk of the inning.
Another meeting on the mound. Relievers ready. The question is Mike Scioscia prepared to pull the trigger? Looks like the answer is no. And Blanton, because of that changeup, really competes well against left-handed hitters. I can't imagine Scioscia was on board with the way Blanton pitched to Soriano, not giving in to him, starting fresh with Valbuena.
Luis has grounded out twice to Ibar, the shortstop. 3 on, 2 down, and strike 1. Starting to creep up on the runs list. They're right in the middle of the pack in the big leagues. They rank 16th. They do the best is hit for extra base power. 3 more homers tonight. Came into tonight second behind the Rockies on the extra base hit list in the National League by only 1. 1-2. 2-2.
And you almost have to throw out the Rockies when you talk about those offensive numbers because of their ballpark skews everything so much.
pronounced foul. Cubs rank 14th among all major league teams, slugging .405. Their on base percentage 300. That puts them in the bottom 5. Called strike 3, and the inning is over as the Cubs strand 3. But they lead 3-0 as we move to the 6th.
Marlon Castro on Pujols, leaving his feet on the backhand side from the hole. Throws out the big fella, and Rizzo, this tricky hop, nice adjustment. They've both gone deep. They both made outstanding plays in the field. Julio Bourbon, hit for extra bases, dives in his glove. Up against the brick wall, a little ivy in the mud, no problem. And Travis Wood just keeps on keeping on. Two-out knock by Pujols in the first. That's the only base runner for the Angels this evening.
Callaspo, ball 1.
It was a knuckling line drive off the glove of Julio Bourbon out there in center field. No issue as to the ruling on it. Clearly a base hit. One of those plays where you think, what if? If he'd been able to haul it in, he'd be perfect through 5.
Hard but foul.
If I could putt, I would have made a birdie today. It's life. It's
how'd you play?
Did all right. I'm not going to lie. For me, I'm a bogey machine when I'm good. Nice course up there. We're pretty much in Canada. It's called Thunderhawk. If you ever get a chance, I recommend it.
Count even up, 2-2. Iannetta on deck. Here it comes, and that will land foul. Travis Woods from Arkansas. Bryant, Arkansas is his hometown. Grew up a Braves fan. Maddox and Glavine were his guys, along with David Justice.
Yeah. David Justice a lot. Doesn't live far from Cliff Lee. Do some stuff together in the offseason. Did Lee make the All-Star team?
Yes, I believe he did. The end of the bat on a hop. Castro fields and throws in time. It's been a good day for the Cubs shortstop. The Chicago Cubs baseball summer camps offer children 5 to 13 of all abilities the ultimate major league experience for 7 one-week sessions in various Chicago area locations. Join fellow teammates for a week of top-notch instruction, exclusive access, and unforgettable moments. Visit Cubs.com/camps to sign up your future Cub today. Iannetta pops it up. Navarro now just locating it. Two away here in the 6th.
Enrollment bonus? How about up to a $400 airline ticket with U.S. Bank Flex Perks Travel Rewards Visa Signature Card? That's a lot of adjectives right there. Apply today at any U.S. Bank branch.
Blanton will take the at bat in the 6th, trailing 3-0.
It feels like a more lopsided game. The
Sure
Cubs have had so many more chances, and Wood has been so good, but still a relatively tight game here in the 6th. Blanton with evil intentions with that swing. That fellow was coming out of his shoes.
Slicing drive to right. It's going to get down for a hit. Sherholtz will pick it up and keep Blanton to a 2-out single.
That big swing as so Travis came with the changeup to try to fool him, and Blanton able to put it in play and is rewarded with a 2-out knock. That changeup, maybe backdoor cutter. Not a bad swing.
But boy, you're right. It has felt that the Cubs have been in complete command, but a couple of bloopers and all of a sudden Mike Trout comes up.
Yeah.
And you never know. Wind blowing out tonight. Cubs have already homered 3 times as Ibar tries to keep this inning alive for Trout, who's on deck.
Yeah, not to bring up bad memories, but reminiscent of the game Travis pitched against the Astros. J.D. Martinez jumped up and ambushed him with a 3-run shot. Very similar game.
Wood ready for an 0-2. Back our way. We see the Angels a fair amount in the Cactus League. They play their games in Tempe. Cubs are in Mesa. Have not matched up a lot in the regular season. You know one thing these two teams have in common? Well, they're probably more than one.
Okay.
But, they both have called Wrigley Field their home ballpark. The first year the Angels spent at the other Wrigley Field in Los Angeles. Then they played at Dodger Stadium for a few years. Swing and a miss. Ibar went after that high curveball and could not get it. Angels strand one and lead 3-0. One source for live baseball everywhere you go. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Cubs baseball with live audio pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and more. Text At Bat to 31826. Or visit Cubs.com for details. And now for our AT&T tweet. Comes from Alec. Cubs as a player's spot in the batting order affect his mentality.
Not sure exactly the point of at Alec Cubs' question. Does it affect his approach, or is his self-esteem wounded if he's dropped from the 2-hole to the 8-hole, something like that? Not sure, but basically no would be my answer. It shouldn't. Manager will try to fit a player's skill set to a certain spot in the batting order and then just tell the hitter go be himself for the most part. And if you hear a hitter complaining about, well, gee, I come to the ballpark one day and I'm hitting second, and I come another day I'm hitting seventh, I don't know my quote-unquote role, he's just making excuses. The job doesn't change much. Get in there and hit it hard like DeAndre Navarro does.
Coming around first and on his way to second, he will have a double.
Well, what a pickup he has been. Increased playing time lately because you just can't keep him on the bench. He's been swinging the bat so well from both sides of the plate. Cruising in with that leadoff double. Bill Blanton right back into the stretch, and action immediately begins to heat up in the Angels bullpen. Cubs left them loaded last inning. Nice to cash in this leadoff double.
It's Garrett Richards up for the Angels.
Is that where you thought Alec was going with the question? Affecting the player's mentality?
Yeah, I think so.
More his psychology?
Sherholtz got hit. Maybe the approach. Trying to be more patient if he hit first.
Yeah,
that's that kind of thing.
And I think that's, ideally what you want is have a player who's suited to that role. So the manager says, well, look at this guy. He walks. He has some speed. Even has a little pop. We like him as a leadoff guy. Not a big run producer, so we don't need him hitting third or fourth. Let's put that guy in the leadoff role, as opposed to taking a hitter and going, look, we need you to be patient. We need you to draw walks, because I don't think you can take a player and mold him into that. Can't coach him up.
So 2 on, no outs as Darwin Barney looks at a strike. Hey, by the way, a nice note from Billy Crum, who tweeted correctly that the other Wrigley Field in LA served as the host ballpark. It was never mentioned in the old Home Run Derby TV series, 1960.
I didn't realize it was never mentioned. I knew they held it there. Whoa, watch out. I'm getting a little loose. With good control. Airmailing this fastball, just reaching back for a little something extra, and that's scary when it's up around the head. No thanks.
1-1. A little high, 2-1. I'll have to ask Ernie Banks the next time we chat with him about it. He was on that show 3 times. The most successful hitter on Home Run Derby, 1960. Hank Aaron appeared 7 times and went 6-1. Fly ball out in the deep left. Hamilton back. This ball will go. How about a 3-run homer for Darwin Barney?
I believe he took a little umbrage with that chin music.
Yeah, we could call this Home Run Derby tonight. 6-0.
There's your Ford home run replay. Darwin Barney unloading on Joe Blanton. The 4th home run Blanton has allowed. Now 22 home runs the right-hander has given up. After that fastball up around the head, Barney responds with a big swing of the bat. Hugs all the way around.
It's the best payback, isn't it? Joe Blanton with a nod to Joe West. That will end his night. It's a Honda call to the pen. It's 6-0. After Joe Blanton gave up 4 home runs. Former first-round pick of the Angels back in 2009, Garrett Richards.
Richards 2-4 with a 4.95 ERA, as you see. He's got a first-round arm. He doesn't have big strikeout numbers, though, but he's got a fastball that averages about 95 miles an hour. Complements it with a slider.
Travis Wood, and the fastball misses. Boy, did Darwin Barney need that home run. And ice cold at the plate. Not tonight. Talking it over with bench coach Jamie Quirk.
Cutting action there at 96. Pitched collegiately at the University of Oklahoma.
Picked up by Ibar. It's the first out.
I'm going to say Mike Scioscia, after those first two batters reached, probably wishing he had hit for Blanton in the top of the inning, but Blanton delivered a single.
I've got more info on the other Wrigley Field, as our good friend Ed Hardick points out. This ballpark in LA was named Wrigley Field before the one we're in right now. It was christened in September of 1925, while Cubs Park wasn't renamed Wrigley Field until the following December 3rd, 1926. Thank you, Ed. I did not know that, as Dana Carvey would have said in Johnny Carson voice.
Yeah, correct, sir. Weeghman Park. Right? Weeghman.
Yep. 1-1 to Bourbon.
By the way, Joe West still hasn't missed a call.
Late movement on that sinker.
Yeah, you can see why this kid was the #1 pick. First round pick, 42nd overall when he came out in 2009. Good, lively arm. Oh, Joe might have just missed one. Oh well.
Three and two, Castro on deck.
Cardinals have traded Mitchell Boggs to the Colorado Rockies.
Guess what they got in return? Pujols, two-time Gold Glover, makes a play. Tulowitzki, Cargo, Kadire.
International money, cap space.
No.
Well, and it will be interesting to see what happens out west with those teams. Trying to identify at this time of the year who the sellers and who the buyers are going to be at the trade deadline. Everybody in that NL West in the mix. Padres falling out. They've lost 10 in a row to fall 7.5 games out. Seems like just yesterday we were talking about them being on such a good run. Giants are scuffling. They're 6.5 back.
Deep to right. And it's caught by Trumbo. 6-0 Cubs, and as promised earlier in the game, now a special look at the new film Grown Ups 2 in theaters. Replay. A lot of pitchers have a lot of trouble against Mike Trout. First 2 times around. Not so much for Travis Wood tonight. And has struck him out twice as Trout will bat for the 3rd time here in the 7th. It's 6-0 Cubs.
Backdoor cutter looking, and then a good changeup off the plate away, swinging.
Got the Vulture Quartet from the Jungle Book, which going on at the Goodman Theater. It'll run through August 4th. 4 cast members: Nehal Joshi, Jeff Packard, Govind Kumar, and Ed Cross. They'll sing the stretch. Have you been to the Goodman Theater yet?
I have not.
Established in 1922.
It's on my list.
You definitely should check it out. So this time Trout walks. First freebie given up by Travis Wood. Take the stolen base away here in the late innings, leading by 6. Tossed to Trout, or to Rizzo rather. Trout back.
Yeah, but I'm with you. A 6-run ball game. Unlikely Trout's going anywhere. If I'm Travis, I don't pay a whole lot of attention. Flip one over there, that's fine, but don't let it affect your delivery to Pujols. So the Angels get back in this game. Somebody pops 1 or 2.
Albert with 488 career homers, 54 against the Cubs. Just have those here in this ballpark.
Public enemy number 1 in just about every city in the National League Central, right? It means there's so much damage in Houston and Chicago, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, Milwaukee. I mean, if you look at the numbers with all the at-bats he's had against those clubs.
Second of a 10-year deal. $240 million plus 10 years of personal services after he retires. 3-time MVP with the Cards, 05, 08, 09.
He got off to a really slow start last year, and then sometime in May really turned it on. Ended up posting solid numbers. It's hard to bet against him, but there has, that length of a contract, there has to be some level of concern out there in Anaheim.
He's 33. Wood with a 2-2, and it's going to be 6-2 when this ball lands. Pujols with a 2-run homer. Number 489 in his career. Now, for me, anecdotally, JD, it feels like Pujols homers every game he's ever played against the Cubs.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm saying, having worked all those games in Houston over the years, and I think everybody in this division feels the same way, that we've seen this way too many times. A big high finish. It's the Ford home run replay. Pujols hitting number 14. Pull the Angels within 4.
Oh, 1 to Kendrick. How big is that Barney home run now? It's Matt Guerrier. Popped up. Shallow right. Barney behind Rizzo will make the grab.
A little bump in the road here for Wood with the walk to Trout, home run to Pujols, but generally that doesn't create too much of a problem for him. Doesn't change his tempo. Doesn't force him out of the strike zone. He just goes about his business as usual.
Well, extremely efficient tonight. Hasn't thrown more than 17 pitches in any of his innings. This will be his 12th here in the 7th. Took him 11 to get the first out. Hamilton 0 for 2, working on this 12-game hitting streak, during which he's batted .372. He's been booed at times at Angel Stadium amidst his first-year struggles with his new team, but a couple of big homers last week. Soriano for out number 2.
Hamilton really struggled down the stretch last year for the Rangers. Got off to that slow start in Anaheim, and talked about some level of concern with Pujols. Clearly there was a lot of concern with Josh Hamilton. Been calmed somewhat with his recent work.
This guy kind of gets lost in the shuffle, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Mark Trumbo.
He's kind of like Ringo.
That's not bad. That's a good analogy. 29 homers 2 years ago. He had 32 last year, so he's got 80 in under 400 games in the big leagues.
Reminds you a little bit of Troy Gloss in that Angel uniform. Big, tall guy. Tremendous power. That's a pretty pitch.
2-1. Let's see where pitch tracks had it. As you say, could have been.
Could have been.
Does not walk a whole lot, and he will strike out. As I say, he doesn't walk a lot. It's 3-1. For that reason, you have to be a little careful here. Although you've got a 4-run lead, I would not expect Wood to necessarily nibble. Does walk him, and that'll bring up Callaspo.
Yeah, I think Dale wanted to see a little bit more aggressive pitch there on the 3-1 to Trumbo for the very reason you mentioned, the 4-run lead. Otherwise, sure, it makes perfect sense to try to pick a corner, see if you can get Trumbo to expand his zone in a hitter's count. The quibble, though, with the approach of Travis Wood all year long.
The pitch to Callaspo. That one drilled into the corner and left. Trumbo toward third. Dino Ebel, the third base coach, is going to hold him. So the Angels kicking up their heels here in the 7th. Pujols with a homer, and now a 2-out rally.
Callaspo gets the head out in front of home plate and drives that ball into the left field corner, and that's going to do it for Travis Wood.
At this point, another quality start, and he'll leave with a 6-2 lead. And the fans get on their feet here at Wrigley Field for the All-Star. Honda call to the pen. We'll be back. appearance since being acquired from the Dodgers. Now, he did suffer the loss in his Cub debut, but remember, a passed ball, the only A's run to score last Thursday, and since then he's been really good in his last 2 outings.
A couple of 2-inning appearances against the Pirates, which he allowed no runs on 1 hit total. Very clean, very efficient work in those 2 outings.
Iannetta will not take the at bat. It'll be his backup, switch hitting Hank Conger. This is his power side. All of his home runs have been hit left-handed. 2 on, and ball 1.
Exactly what Mike Scioscia has in mind. Maybe Conger can run into one here. Wind's blowing out, a couple men on base, and really tighten things up here in a hurry. Guerrero, one of the things you like about him is he's got stuff to compete against both right and left-handed hitters, especially his changeup. That changeup might be his best pitch, and we've seen some dandies. Got away from him a little bit. He's a 4-pitch pitcher. Fastball, curveball, slider, and change. Relies on command and movement. So much velocity.
Conger batting for the catcher Iannetta. The pitcher spot is next, and veteran Brad Hopp is in the on-deck circle. It's 3-0, and Guerrero does not want to walk Conger. Then all of a sudden, Hopp represents the tying run. They are within slam range here in the 7th.
Doesn't want to walk him. Does he not want to walk him bad enough to throw him a fastball right over the heart of the plate? Yes. But how about 2? I feel pretty comfortable throwing that one because you assume Conger's taking. Now circumstances are a little bit different.
Conger, first round pick back in 05.
You're looking to hack here.
And they are loaded up. 3rd walk of the inning. So Hopp has made 4 starts. He came up from AAA Salt Lake about a month ago, and as a starter 1 for 17, but as a sub he's 4 out of 5, including 2 for 2 as a pinch hitter.
We were talking about this the other day. So many games turn in the 7th inning before you get to that 8th and 9th inning relief specialist. It's a huge situation for Guerrero.
The 0-1. Fly ball left field. Soriano running hard. It's going to land just foul. That would have scored, I think, all 3.
Oh, wow. Yeah, with 2 outs, moving with the swing, that would have cleared the bases.
This is how close it was to being a 1-run game. Maybe a foot.
Gary Pressey over there on the organ playing plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is as that ball drifts barely foul.
Two strikes on Hopp. The pitch.
Yeah.
And he got him. They leave him loaded. Time for the stretch.
Guest conductors for Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Cast members of the Jungle Book.
All right, Cub fans, let's hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. Well, it's root, 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 root.
Cubs take on the Cardinals this Sunday, July 14th. It's a night game, 7:05 start. First 5,000 children 13 and younger will receive a pair of Cubs shoelaces. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
New battery for the Angels. Conger, pinch hit and walked. Stays in to catch. Michael Kahn. A good fastball. Is in to pitch. 6-2 Cubs.
Yeah, strikeout per inning pitched. No hit total. Hawks a little higher than you would like.
Rizzo grounds. A little bobble by Kendrick. He recovers in time.
Did Albert cheat a little bit there at first base? Talked about I guess he was on the bag. The Angels struggles defensively. Kendricks made 9 errors, Ibar 8, Callaspo 10, which kind of spread him around on the infield.
Soriano homer, double play, and a walk. Fastball drifts inside. Blake Parker up in the Cubs bullpen. It's going to be foul.
He turned down some fastballs lately.
He could explain it. If he could explain it, he'd hit about 800. But he just is an extremely streaky hitter. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Yeah, and I think all athletes, kind of go up and down. They have hot streaks and cool off. Sometimes it's luck. Sometimes it's just you get in, quote unquote, the zone. You're seeing the ball well as a hitter. You're feeling very comfortable in the box. I think a lot of it too is just the competition, and not so much whether you're facing good pitchers or bad pitchers, but the style of pitchers. And when you think about some of the guys we've seen and the way they've attacked him lately, they've thrown him a lot of strikes. He's had pitches to hit over the stretch of the last couple of weeks, and a lot of times you'll see pitchers hardly ever throw anything in the strike zone.
Deep left. Hamilton back on the warning track. Gone. He's done it twice tonight. 7-2. "40 times he's now hit at least 2.
This is a fastball moving up and in, and look how quickly he gets the head out in front of that. I mean, this isn't a soft tosser up here who made a mistake. This is a guy with a high-octane fastball who's not used to getting a pitch that high above the hands hit with that kind of authority. It's an impressive swing of the bat.
One fouled off. 33rd multi-homer game of his career. 30th time he's hit 2. He's hit 3 in a game 3 times. Line foul. Soriano now with 179 as a Cub. He's tied with Derek Lee for 11th on the franchise career homer list. It's 5 homers tonight for the Cubs. Kendrick backs up a little bit. 2 outs.
And they're all legit, too. Those aren't Wrigley Field home runs, you know, a hot night, wind blowing out, and all those other factors. Yes, but every one of those balls was really well hit.
Lead by 5, trying to win their 4th in a row. Has a sign, set at the belt. Now the 1-1. Morrow topples over, fouled that one off himself. It's beaten up enough as a catcher.
Broke his bat, hurt himself. He's got to go back and get a new weapon, maybe off the instep. Hope he doesn't have a corn.
Would not be good.
People still get corns. I've heard that term in a long time.
Yeah,
they changed the term.
I'm sure people do. I don't think they're all of a sudden extinct. Been eradicated.
I think they have. I think they've come up with a corn vaccine. Has your child received his corn shot?
Swing and a miss to end the inning. Soriano has hit a couple home runs tonight. One to center and this one to left. And the Cubs lead 7-2.
Sports with Chicago Blackhawks, a championship journey presented by your Chevy dealers. Tune in as CSN replays every Blackhawks victory from the playoffs and every game of the Stanley Cup Final. Watch the journey that brought Lord Stanley back to Chicago, beginning July 14th on Comcast Sportsnet.
And get real-time info, including pitcher gas gauge, stats, and tweets with Cubs in-game live only at csnchicago.com. It's brought to you by Comcast Business Class. Here's Blake Parker. With a 5-run cushion in the 8th. Got a little hairy in the 7th as the Angels had the tying run at the plate. Guerrero struck out Brad Hopp with the bases loaded, and then Soriano would add a home run in the bottom of the inning.
Down 5. Angels need base runners. Ibar taking a look at one there. James Russell's up in the Cubs bullpen. These things get a little dicey. Maybe for a Josh Hamilton at bat.
Bounce to first. And Ibar is 0 for 4. Russell for the Cubs, Roth for the Angels, both lefties.
This kid is above average in everything he does on the baseball field. Speed, power, arm, instincts off the charts.
Already a 2-time All-Star. He's only 21. Rookie of the Year last year. Silver Slugger winner. Swats that one into center. He was last year's Baseball America Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year, the first rookie to also be the Player of the Year, and he almost won the MVP.
East Coast has Bryce Harper, West Coast has Mike Trout. It'll be fun to watch their careers and see ultimately which one of them is the better player.
Pujols hit a 2-run homer his last time up. It's a breaking ball in.
Strop joins Russell.
Try to turn it here. They get one. They get them both. Castro backed up, but again, he knew his runner. Pujols clearly not close to 100%, and they get the 6-4-3 to end the Angels' 8th. It's 7-2 Cubs.
This week's auction will feature the turn-of-the-century inspired throwback uniforms worn in Seattle back on June 29th. Go to Cubs.com/authentics to bid now or call 773-404-4753 for all your other memorabilia needs.
Left-hander alert. Michael Roth is in.
Up from Double-A, he was in rookie ball last year. Pitched 11 times here at the big league level, once as a starter. More of a finesse type guy. Fastball, slider, cutter, curveball change.
South Carolina native Michael Roth. Sherholtz already has been hit once, almost got hit again. A quick check of some of the other games of note. The Cardinals leading the Astros 7-1 in St. Louis in the 6th. And that gets away from the catcher, but Sherholtz won't be able to get more than the one on the walk. Cardinals with a half-game lead over the Pirates going into action tonight, and Oakland has a 2-1 lead in Pittsburgh in the 7th. Dan Straley's been really good once again.
Little Straley Dan.
Time now for a Coors Light Freeze, Cam.
You're going to see some home run swings right here. This is a pitch from Blanton that was down in a little bit. That didn't work. Fastball right over the heart of the plate for Soriano. That hasn't worked for anybody recently. Castro starting to show a little power in recent days. Barney goes deep. You see a lot of those pitches drifting in when Blanton wanted them away. That one was up and in from the hard thrower.
Caught the inside corner on Barney, who hit a 3-run homer, a huge homer in the 6th. Made it 6-0. That separation on a night like this against a powerful offense with a wind blowing out. White Sox got 7 in the 8th in Detroit. They now lead 8-3 in the 9th. Viciedo's hit 2 homers. He didn't play last night against the Cubs. Dunn with his 24th.
Sox have banged out 17 hits tonight.
Alex Rios tonight, the first player ever to have 4 hits off Justin Verlander. How about that? He's 5 for 5 in the game. Tuiasa Sopo has homered for the Tigers, his 5th, and Cabrera, Miguel Cabrera with his 29th.
It's a shocker. If you have Adrian Beltre on your fantasy club, you're happy. 4 out of 4, 2 home runs, 5 driven in.
Willie Peralta throwing a gem in Milwaukee, 2-0, leading the Reds as they go to the 9th. A 3-hit shutout.
Connor get dinged up a little bit there.
Remember, he came in for Iannetta.
Follow through.
Ooh. Back swing by Barney. The side of his face where his ear is, you see that cheekbone exposed. Even now 2-2. All right, finals. Phillies over Washington 4-2. Cole Hamels, we mentioned, 11 losses. Now he has 4 wins. Atlanta dumped the Marlins 6-4. Miami, fly ball to right. Trumbo went back, now comes in. And over to his right a little bit to make the catch. American League Finals, Texas over Baltimore 8-4. I mentioned Adrian Beltre with 2 homers. Kansas City beat the Yankees 3-1. Shields over Sabathia. Cleveland shut out Toronto 3-0, even though they were out hit 8-4.
Braves won again. They beat the Twins 4-1. They've won 10 out of 11 and 6 in a row.
Ricky Nolasco's making his Dodger debut, leading at Arizona 1-0. Ian Kennedy pitching for the Diamondbacks. The Dodgers a 6-1 winner last night, and they go in having won 13 of 16. Only 3.5 out. 3-0 on the pinch hitter Dave Chappelle, who had a career high 4 hits last night on the south side. Roth has a sign from Conger in his 3-1 at the knees, 3-2.
Roth pitched at the University of South Carolina. Chappelle played at Coastal Carolina University. Gamecocks and the Chanticleers doing battle here.
Chanticleers.
Yeah, it's like a gamecock, another kind of rooster, or chicken or something. Kind of macho bird.
Hamilton back near the track for the out.
Quiet crowd tonight. I think the heat's taking the life out of everybody.
$31,579. The paid crowd here at Wrigley. Blown away to Bourbon.
First team All-American was Roth after the 2011 season at South Carolina. They had a good run there. They went to the College World Series a couple of times in recent years.
Bone able to get in a little bit of a groove here. This is his 4th consecutive start. Did not get a lot of playing time his first couple of months as a Cub. At one point he really was the 6th outfielder. It was when DeJesus and Sweeney were on the active roster, and Scott Hairston was still here. Bourbon picking up a lot of playing time with Brian Bogusevic day to day with a hammy. Bogusevic hopes to get back in the starting lineup Thursday night against the Cardinals. It's kind of the projection at this point. Called strike 3, and we will go to the 9th. The Cubs leading the Angels 7-2. Central presented by GMC. Day 2 of Hawks Prospect Camp. Old Time Bears golf for a good cause. Catch all that and more on Sportsnet Central tonight. Right after post-game live only on Comcast Sportsnet. Pedro Strop against Howie Kendrick. Fastball at 94. 0-1 the count.
Pedro's work with the Orioles and then a little bit here with the Cubs. Change of scenery deal, hoping to recapture some of the magic that he flashed last year. Solid setup role with the Orioles in 2012. A hard thrower, sort of good tight slider there to Howie Kendrick.
Former middle infielder. Converted to the mound in 2006. Kendrick did not swing. According to Sam Holbrook at first, 1-2. On the ground, and Castro will come in and throw him out. I'd say it's been a tough go for Castro, but he's had one of his best games of the year tonight. He's been very active defensively. He's homered and walked, lined out in the 6th. It's a routine play, but he's just played with a lot of confidence out there tonight.
Yeah, he's had a nice night. A nice play on Pujols in the hole.
Dale Hamilton signed a defect from Texas, 5 years, $125 million. Their owner, Artie Moreno, not afraid to open the wallet. Outside, 2 balls and a strike.
From 2002 to 2009, this club had a heck of a run in the NL West. Trying to recapture that. Willing to pull the trigger with some deadline deals, sign some big free agents.
Yeah, they haven't made the playoffs for 3 consecutive years. So yes, so 6 playoff appearances the last 11 years, but none over the last 3. Prior to winning that World Series in 2002, when they rode the AL wild card all the way to their first title, they hadn't been in the playoffs since '86. A pretty long drought. Hamilton strikes out, 2 gone.
Hitting streak over. Stopped at 12. 0 for 4 for Hamilton. Couldn't lay off that slider from Stroop.
Cubs an out away from their 40th win. At least a season series split with the Angels. Went 1-1 in Anaheim. And they'll wrap up the season set tomorrow night here.
Be 40-48 with this win, 8 games below 500. Nothing to write home about, but better than they've been in quite some time. They'll climb that hill back to 500. Joe might have missed 2 tonight.
Deep center, and it will stay in.
That's a strong man right there. That was a 1-iron off the center field wall.
It was a Ryan Klesko, Gary Sheffield special.
Yeah, it looks like he moves pretty well too. Watching him run the bases. He's not a base clogger. Leg kick, and then the hands fly through.
Going to be a power hitter with a name like Trumbo. Names with Jumbo. Sound like a middle infielder, doesn't it?
No, kind of a linebacker.
Here's Kayashpo with 2 outs. Trumbo at second. The pitch. In the air. Foul ground. They scatter in the bullpen, and no play for Castro and Valbuena. Andy Lane with a little playful shove of Lester Strode.
Lester had his chair, and he wasn't sure which way to go. He ran in right towards the ball.
And Kangaroo Court. Might be a rough one for Lester.
It looked like they're running the old Packer sweep or something out there.
quite like this ballpark in the 9th inning when the Cubs have the lead. Throw out the records, the standings. Feels the same every time. They're on their feet. 2-1 on Callaspo. 3-1.
With a really good arm. Control's been the issue for him. He was able to work his way around it last year, not so much this year in Baltimore. Kind of a funky delivery, very mechanical, moving parts. Certainly wouldn't call it smooth.
Cubs win just as Kevin Gregg had grabbed a ball in the bullpen. No need to even throw a warm-up toss. 7-2 the final as they hit 5 home runs. And Travis Wood gets his first win since May 30th.
Yeah, finally gets some run support. The Cubs bats break out in a big way tonight. 5 home runs, including yet another 2 home run game from Alfonso Soriano. My goodness, is he on a tear.
And with an honorable mention to the now 6-6 Travis Wood, Soriano is our GMC player of the game.
Went back-to-back with Rizzo in the first off of Angels starter Joe Blanton. And then in the 7th turned on a fastball up and in at about 94 miles an hour. Nothing to it. He is locked in.
So Wood 6-6. Blanton with the loss drops to 2-11. And for JD and our entire CSN crew, this is Len Casper from Wrigley Field. Your final, the Cubs 7, the Angels 2. We're back with you Thursday night as the Cubs open a 4-game weekend set against the St. Louis Cardinals at 7. We're not done yet. Up next, Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live.